I used to wake up every morning with a strange feeling in my chest. It wasn't pain. It wasn't fear. It was emptiness. I was 32. I worked at a small coffee shop in a quiet town. I made enough to pay the bills. I had a small room, a quiet life. People said I should be grateful, but the truth was, I felt like I was disappearing. No one saw me. No one asked how I was doing. And to be honest, I stopped asking myself too. I remember one morning, standing at the bus stop in the cold. The sky was gray. The ground was wet. And I looked around and thought, is this it? Is this my life? I wanted more, but I didn't know where to start. That same day, a customer came into the shop. He left a small book on the counter by accident. I almost threw it away, but something told me to open it. The first page said, "Your life doesn't change by chance. It changes by choice." I read that line over and over. I don't know why it hit me so hard. Maybe because deep down, I knew I hadn't been choosing anything. I was just existing. That night, I went home, sat in silence, and asked myself a question I had avoided for years. What do I want? It was scary. Not because I didn't have dreams, but because I did, and I had buried them. I wanted to write. I wanted to travel. I wanted to make my parents proud. I wanted to live a life that felt mine. So I made a promise, not a big one, just one small promise to myself. Do one thing each day that brings me closer to the life I want. The next morning, I woke up 30 minutes earlier. I didn't check my phone. I didn't scroll through social media. I sat down and wrote one page in English. Yes, it was full of mistakes, but it was my story. And for the first time in years, I felt alive. Every day, I wrote a little more. 5 minutes became 10. 10 became 30. Some mornings I cried. Some mornings I felt like giving up. But I kept going, and something began to shift. I stopped saying, "I can't." I started saying, "I'm trying." I stopped thinking I was too old. I started believing I'm just beginning. I began listening to English stories while cleaning. I whispered new words while riding the bus. I wrote little poems in my notebook between coffee orders. And slowly, something changed. It wasn't just my English. It was the way I looked at myself. I used to walk with my head down. Now I started looking people in the eye. I smiled more. I said yes more. One afternoon, my father called. His voice was weak. He said he had been watching me quietly, that he was proud, that for the first time in a long time, he believed I was truly living. I cried that night, not from sadness, but from something deeper, healing. You see, people think changing your life means big things: a new job, a big house, a perfect body. But for me, change looked like this: waking up early, speaking kindly to myself, writing one paragraph a day, choosing growth over comfort, learning to love myself slowly. One day, a friend from the cafe said, "You're different, like you're glowing. What happened?" I smiled. I didn't say much, because how do you explain that the moment your life changed was the moment you stopped waiting for someone to save you and started saving yourself? Now, I teach English online. I tell stories like this to women who feel lost, to dreamers who forgot how to dream, to people who think it's too late. It's not too late. It's never too late. If you're listening to this, maybe you feel what I once felt. Maybe your heart is tired. Maybe your dreams feel far away. But hear me softly and clearly. You can change. You can begin again. One small step, one kind word, one honest moment at a time. You're not behind. You're not broken.